Hey, I'm Aaliyah. I love anime and sad anime edits, and this channel is all about that. Today, we are talking about Fate Strange Fake and whether it is actually worth your time. Let's get into it. How many of you have been told to watch Fate, sat down to start it, made it through 2 episodes without understanding a single thing, and quietly gave up? That has always been Fate's biggest problem. Where do you even begin? Fate Zero, Stay Night, Unlimited Blade Works? Then there is Grand Order, and Apocrypha, and Kaled, and somehow it keeps going. If you want the simplest watch order broken down properly, check out my channel and subscribe to support me. I cover exactly that there. And right at that wall, in early 2026, O1 Pictures did something. They brought Fate Strange Fake to television. 13 episodes, January through March, and this time, the director himself said something worth paying attention to. You do not need to know anything about Fate to enjoy this. I made this video for 2 audiences. For people who have never touched this franchise and want to know why Strange Fake might be the best place to start, and for veterans who already know this world and want to understand what this series actually added to it. So, what is Strange Fake? At its core, Strange Fake is a light novel series. The author is Ryogo Narita, the same man who wrote Durarara and Bakano. Not Kinoko Nasu, but someone who loves Nasu's world deeply and has spent years living inside it. That distinction matters, because Strange Fake understands every rule of the Fate universe and then deliberately breaks them. On purpose. That is not a flaw. That is the entire premise. The story is not set in Japan. It takes place in Snowfield, Nevada. A group of mages is attempting to stage their own Holy Grail war on American soil, but from the very beginning, something is wrong. The rituals were applied incorrectly. The wrong servants were summoned. Classes that should not exist are appearing. And out of all that chaos, what emerges is something far more dangerous than a standard Grail war. The characters are where this series truly earns its place. False Lancer, known as Enkidu, False Archer, the one veterans will immediately recognize. If you know the names, you already understand why people lost their minds when these summonings were revealed. If you do not know them yet, just trust that these characters hit in ways you will not expect. Now let us talk about the animation. Honestly, A1 Pictures handled production. They are also the studio behind Solo Leveling, if that gives you a reference point. Did they give this series everything they had? The answer is yes and no. Episode-to-episode inconsistency is real here. Some episodes look theatrical, the movement is fluid, the detail work is extraordinary. And when you add Hiroyuki Sawano's score on top of it, the result is genuinely epic. Yes, that Hiroyuki Sawano, the composer behind Attack on Titan, the man who takes an ordinary fight scene and turns it into something that feels like a historical event. The best moments in Strange Fake owe a significant debt to his music. But then some episodes slow down. The pacing drags, the exposition gets heavy. This is a common problem with light novel adaptations. The source material is dense, and compressing it without losing its weight is genuinely difficult. My overall rating for the animation? A solid 7.5 out of 10. Good, but with a real asterisk. Now let us get to why this series actually matters beyond just being a good watch. Strange Fake is not only a Holy Grail war story, it is a window into how large the Nasuverse actually is. The Nasuverse is the shared universe created by Kinoko Nasu. Fate is its most famous corner, but it is only one corner. There is Tsukihime, which deals with vampires and creatures called Dead Apostles. There is Garden of Sinners. There is Witch on the Holy Night. These works all share the same fundamental rules and exist in the same world. Strange Fake does something that no major anime adaptation has done this clearly before. It brings one of those dead apostles into the frame. A being from outside the Fate side of the Nasuverse walks into this Holy Grail war, and for viewers who only know Fate, that moment raises a very natural question. How big is this universe exactly? What else is out there? And the moment that question lands, you find yourself adding Fate Zero and Stay Night to your watch list. You start looking up Tsukihime. You fall into the Nasuverse. Strange Fake was built precisely to open that door. So who should actually watch this series? If you have never seen any Fate before, Strange Fake is a legitimate starting point. You do not need prior knowledge. The director guaranteed that. But my personal recommendation is to start with the prologue episode first. It is called Whispers of Dawn. It runs about 90 minutes, and it introduces every major character and the atmosphere of the series in a way that makes the actual show feel immediately approachable rather than overwhelming. If you have already seen Fate Zero or Stay Night, this series is a reward. Familiar concepts are filtered through a completely different lens. Some of the references and callbacks will genuinely make you stop and smile, or stop and stare. If you know the Nasuverse deeply, the Dead Apostle connection alone is enough to keep you locked in. Is Fate Strange Fake the best anime of 2026? No. Frieren Season 2 is a serious competitor for that conversation, and the best moments of JJK Season 3 belong in that discussion too. But is it the most ambitious Fate project in years? Yes, without question. One more thing worth noting. Before the final episode ended, the words "to be continued" appeared on screen. There is no official announcement of a continuation yet, but that phrase was left there deliberately. The story is not finished. This world is not closed. I will be watching this very closely. If a continuation is announced, you will hear about it here first. Subscribe if you want to stay in the loop. The Fate Lore series is starting soon. Link in the description. See you in the next one.